is, not your pocket, the password that you get on is a long number that starts 20107. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Have some people already logged on then and had a look at what? That's fantastic. That's
few nods.
Done that. Yeah. Have you got also electronic resources that you use here?
We have a VLE and things like,
sort of like
handouts. Yeah, handouts that we have are uploaded onto that, but we don't have like a e-learning in the same way.
Right, in the sort of online resources.
Yeah.
Okay. So the session, I'm going to break it into two halves roughly, and the first part is more about the sort of traditional library resources that you think you'd have, so books and journal articles that you can use when you're researching topics that you're interested in, or looking at other animators, or trying to find out what's happening in the industry. The second part is resources we have that have more of a practical slant, so things about how to actually help you do what you're trying to do here. And then if we have time, there's some extra things which I can add on at the end, just if we have time to cover those as well. I'm not sure if they'll be useful or not, so it would be really interesting to get your feedback on whether they are. So I'm just going to start by opening up the internet. I see you've got Internet Explorer here, and my first piece of advice is if ever anything goes a bit weird and wobbly with any of the UCLAN resources and you're using Internet Explorer, just try using Google Chrome or Firefox instead, because quite often the reason they go a bit strange is because it's Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use Internet Explorer because I never use Chrome, so I would be phased out, but I always use Firefox. So then you just want to find the UCLAN site. Without a J on the end, it often helps, of course, to make your results more accurate. And this is the page that you'll see, so you might have already logged into this before. So up here at the top you get the student login. You can go directly to the library pages, but we find that off campus it's a little bit less glitchy if you go in through the student portal and sign in at the start of your searching rather than keep signing in all the way through. Those people that have used the resources before, did you get onto them okay? Yeah, no problems? What have you used? Can I just, who nodded? You nodded? You nodded.
I use Chrome, yes.
You used Chrome. Did you, in the UCLAN resources, can you remember what you actually looked at in there, or did you? It doesn't matter.
It comes to mind at the moment, but
anyone else? Yeah, anyone else who's used them before? What have they actually used?
It's just primarily to see results.
Just to have a browse round and say. I'm just curious to see if I'm going to be repeating stuff that you've already done. So sign on with your username, and then your password, which will be much longer than mine. It'll be that whole number, but I've changed mine to make it easier to remember. If you do forget your password, there's a link on that first page, which I should have pointed out, that says forgotten your password, and if you click on that, you'll get an email that can assist you with resetting it. You shouldn't see this page. This is what you should see with your courses that you're enrolled on. And then over here, library resources for your subject, and here a link through to the library pages. So there is a page for animation, but I'm going to go through the actual library pages instead, because there's a couple of resources that I need to add to that page that I'm going to show you today. So I'll show you things through the library pages. So this is our library guide. Okay, so first of all you've got the library catalogue, really simple. So I'll show you that first of all. It looks like every other library catalogue you've ever used. You're really welcome to use our library resources. We try and buy electronic books as far as possible, and I'm going to show you how to access the electronic books now. Our print books, we do also have this system whereby if there's something in print in our library, we can send it out here for you. But you have to pay for the postage to return it yourselves. So if there is some book that you really, really like the look of and you want to know whether or not UCLAN can get it, you're very welcome to email me. I'll put my email out at the end of the session, and I'll see whether or not I can obtain that electronically for you, because it's much more useful for you if they're available electronically. So I'm afraid I'm doing a very basic search on video art. So you can see we've got many, many books on video art. So you could have a look at these and see whether or not you want to make the request into UCLAN, or you could just restrict them to just the electronic resources. So this would be just those books that are available electronically. So all our resources have these limiters down the side, just like when you're shopping on the internet, and you can limit your results like that. So then you get these, just the electronic books instead. So are you all familiar with electronic books? Have you used, some people have already used the resources, everyone's nodding. Yeah. So this one's from a company called eBury, which is the biggest company that supplies us with ebooks. So you're most likely to find books from eBury. So I just click in. It should ask me to sign on to prove that I'm a student at UCLAN, and you will have to do that a lot when you're using our resources. So again, you need to put your username and password in. Sometimes it takes a bit longer off campus than it does on campus. You won't get all this because I'm an admin person, so I get all the pricing and everything, but you won't be bothered with all that information. You can just read the book online. What's nice about using the books online, apart from the fact you never get any fines, you never have to worry about bringing them back, is you can search within the text for particular things. So if you're particularly interested in I'll put in something that I know is going to turn up, television, or a particular artist. Sometimes if you're researching particular animators, do you ever have to do that? Research particular people? So sometimes if you look on a library catalogue for a particular person or animator, you don't get many results. But if you start looking within ebooks, you can find more results. So because I put in a particular word, it's showing me where that word appears, and the blue bars indicate where it appears most often in the chapter. I can just click down and click through to the page that I'm interested in. Because I've logged in, this is my own area of eBury, and anything I like I can save up here to my bookshelf. So next time I go in, all the books and things that I've used a lot will be there. So for example, if I found that this was very useful, I could highlight it, and then up I can change the colour of the highlight if I feel like it. I can put a note on. So if you find something that's useful for a particular essay or piece of work, you could just jot down the title of the essay maybe and save it. Now because I've done something to this book, it will automatically save it up here to my bookshelf. So I click on bookshelf. I use this loads, so you see that these are all the different ones I've demonstrated. So there's the video art one that I just did. Click on useful, and it'll take me straight back to that area that I highlighted already. So that can be a really nice way of organising the work that you do.
Can I just ask, is there a limit to how many things you can have on your bookshelf?
I haven't found it yet. Every now and then I have to clear mine out. So no, there's no limit at all. I'll show you how you can just get straight to eBury to go straight to your bookshelf without having to go through the catalogue as well, which can be useful. Up here you've got various other options. So you can download chapters. You can print a PDF. Which is like the same as downloading really, or you can print out a certain number of pages. Because of copyright, it tells you how many pages you're allowed to print. And it does remember it forever, so it's no good thinking I'll do 22 pages today and then tomorrow I'll go and do another 22, because it doesn't work like that. Oh, I don't want to do that. Useful too is if you have to cite something, you can have a look here to see how you cite it. And you do have to be a little bit careful, so it might not be exactly the way that you have to cite it according to your module handbook, because they all seem to be slightly different, but at least all the information is there, so you can pick that up if you need to use that citation at all. Has anyone got any questions?
Which was the button that you added, that you clicked on for citations?
It's just this one here with the speech marks in the little
Right.
box. And if you want to add the whole book to your bookshelf too, there's one up here for that, which I can't remember which one it is. One of these. And you can highlight as well from up here too. There you go, add bookmarks, like a little tag. So if you think this is all very nice, and actually I can't be bothered to go through the catalogue every time and find a book and work out whether it's eBury, I just want to look at eBury, I don't want to bother with anything else, I just want to look at the ebooks, you can go straight in to just eBury. So if I go back to this main page, we just looked on the library catalogue to find the electronic books. If I click on the one next to it, which is e-resources, see these are the different sorts of electronic resources we have. So we have collections of electronic books. And we're going to look at some of these others as well. So I just click on ebooks. These are all the different collections we have, but most of them are really small and subject specific. So you don't need to worry about most of these. It's quite a busy looking page. The two that are most useful are eBay, because we get most of our books from there, and one called Dawson Era, because if I can't get a book from eBay, I'll use Dawson's to order it for your subject area. So I just click on eBay. This is saying that it's this whole collection of all these eBay books, and I get to it via the University Network if I'm on campus, or off campus I just click through here. I've already logged into it because I went through that book, so it's not asking me to log in again. But this is just the general eBay. So I can do search, an advanced search, and you can see that here it's saying I'm searching in the text and key fields for a particular thing. So whereas on the library catalogue I was searching on the whole catalogue for video art, here I'm just searching in all the text of all the books. It's like looking at all the indexes at the same time. So if you're looking for a specific animator or a particular theory or a particular way of working, and you look on our library catalogue and it comes up like 2 books or no books or just a really small number, it's really worth just going into eBay and redoing the search, because that will pick up sections of books and chapters of books that might not appear in the catalogue itself. So have you got anybody that you're researching at the moment? I don't know much about animation. Any projects on the go? Or
Look up Lottie Ryder. That's Chelsea.
Yeah.
So it's LOTTE REINEGER.
is that 2 words?
Yeah, Lottie's
I've done
first
it in
name.
Okay, so other things nice about a name, I mean this is unlikely to come up with the word Lottie somewhere in the learner would go anyway. Oh, what a shame, sorry everybody. Usually that works so well. No, there's a different one, I don't think these will be the right person at all. Usually you find, well, there aren't any eBay books is the conclusion we come from that, but usually you find many more books doing it this way than doing it through the library catalogue. So I'll just put in my old video art on again. I did get quite a lot before, I think I had in the hundreds when I did it on the library catalogue, but here you can see that I get 39,248 documents that contain those phrases. So it's just a way of double checking you're not missing anything.
Does it search through, is it sort of headings rather than the actual
No,
text?
it's
It
the
goes through the
whole
whole text.
text.
Okay.
You can change it up here if you just want to look at the main subject. You could just look at it as a main subject heading and do a search like that. And then you see you only get 19 where the main subject heading is video art. But it's a good way of picking up particular people. It's a shame that example didn't work, but for us. Okay. So I'll show you one more resource, and then is it okay if I get everyone to log on and make sure that they can, is that okay as part of the session? So we've just had a look at the library catalogue, and we've had a look at eBay separately. So you can find all the ebooks on the library catalogue, but if you want to look in the full text of all those books at the same time, you have to use the eBay platform instead. Is everyone all right with that? Yeah? Okay, so the next very useful place to look for information is called Discovery. So this is a different way of searching for information, and what this will do, it picks up the library books, just like the library catalogue, but not within the full text, so it's not like eBay, but it picks up the books from the library catalogue, but it also picks up journal articles, so it examines all the different journal titles and trade magazines that are in your area, and picks out all the articles that might be relevant. So if you don't care whether it's a book or a journal article, you just need information on this topic, this is the best place to start, really. So again, you just need to go onto the off-campus access, and it will keep asking you to log on. It's just a little slow. I should have written that name down. Let me see if there's anything. I'm determined to find something there. Could you spell the surname again? Lotto.
Well, I might have spelled it wrong. That might be
Is that what you think?
It's REIEGER.
Yeah. REIEGER. Okay, so you come to Discovery. You have no idea whether or not it's going to be any use for your topic. It's designed to look like Google, so the idea is that you find it, you just type in what you're interested in and see what comes up. So we will just type in lots just to see.
It's IU.
Is it IE?
No, it's not. It's ER, but it's IN. It's the first Like
Yeah,
the
first
first
one. Popular term.
Oh yeah, popular terms.
Oh, there we go.
Oh right.
Okay, so we get 27 pieces of information about Lottie. If you get your set of results and you realise that there's actually another Reiniger called something else and there's another Lottie and the words aren't together, it's like you're getting lots of articles that aren't relevant because the two words that you've put in are separated from each other. You can use speech marks to keep your results together. So you just put it in quote marks and that will keep the name together. That's great. So we found some information here. I'm going to do a different search so that I can show you different things because this is quite a small set of results. So you can go that way through the keyword, or you can use the advanced search. And this gives you the 3 different boxes, which is sometimes easier. It's easier sometimes to work out how you're constructing your search and what words you put in and how things are fitting together. So I could search for video again. You can see I get loads and loads of results. Sometimes you get these research starters, which are really nice. Sometimes you get them for people as well, but we didn't get one for Lottie, but you might for other people. And it's a nice introduction to the subject, and then you get all the books and things as well. But you can see on this side we get academic journal articles and trade publications too. So you're probably not that bothered which source your information is coming from, but trade publications tend to be things written by people actually working in the industry, so very practical information about new things that they've discovered, new ways of working. And academic journals tend to be academics pulling everything together and then analysing where things are going. So if you're writing something academic like a dissertation or a long essay, do you have to do that at all? Yeah, you might want to veer towards the academic journals and less towards the trade publications. Though there is a bit of crossover in the middle, so don't be too worried if you find a really useful trade publication. So it might be that you think, oh, video art, that's far too many results. I don't want to look through 126,000. I'm really more interested in animation as well. So you can add in different terms down here, and every time you add something in one of these boxes, your search results will get smaller and smaller and smaller and more specific. So that's what the and is doing. It's making your big search smaller and more specific. So it's looking at all the results that have video art, and then you say, and I want animation as well, and then you say, and I want, I don't know, Disney as well, and it would get smaller and smaller. So you can see that I get down to 3,000 odd results. Very different sorts of results here. You might want to, if it hasn't already, because I did a basic search first, it's default limited by full text, which Discovery will do. If you use the basic search and then go into the advanced search, it will already limit by full text. If you go straight into the advanced search and do your searching, it won't do that. You might want to just look at those articles which you can link to directly online. It's much easier. If your essay has to be in next week, you might not have time to go hunting around for different articles and locate them all. But if you're doing a dissertation or something that's a really in-depth study, you might want to be aware of articles that are around and out there, even if we don't happen to link to the full text of them directly. It might be that you can get hold of them from one of your academics, or you can email the person that wrote it and ask them for a copy. People are surprisingly obliging about that, or you can get it on an interlibrary loan system or something like that. So it's up to you whether you limit, but just be aware of what you're doing there. Get a date limiter as well, so if you're only interested in current research, you can use that. And then down here you can limit by your academic journals or your trade publications. The other limiter that's really, really useful is if you still have rather too many results, I've got way too many to look through, I'm not going to look through 3,000 of them, is this subject limiter here. If I click on subject, it's showing me the main subject headings that have been given to all these different articles. So from here, I could limit it down quite significantly if I was particularly interested in a certain aspect. They are a little bit odd because, not odd, but random maybe occasionally, because they're set by the authors of the articles. So some authors have said animation, and some authors have said 3D plus animation, which might not be a different thing, and so you might find similar things in here. But if you just tick on the animation one and update it, then you'll just see those 147 articles. I don't know if you find this when you do your searching, you either find nothing at all or masses. Does anyone have those two issues? So if you find nothing at all, Think about what keywords you're using, think about if you can widen your search, think about if you can look in different places. So if you're looking on the catalogue, think, well, you know, I'm only looking for the titles of books here, maybe if I look on Discover I'll find more information. If you find too much, think about adding extra search terms in, being more specific about what you want the main area of your research to be, trying out different things. When you're searching for information, I can't say do this, this and this and you will end up with 10 perfect articles. It's very much a case of trying it out yourself. You get better with practice. You have to do a search really. It almost doesn't matter what you put in, because when you look at the results you'll realise whether they were good search terms or bad search terms, and then you can go back and change what you've done, and you get better at doing that the more you practice. So if I just click into one of these articles, you get the abstract. Over here you get the site again, which can be useful, but just like with eBree, you just have to be a little bit careful. Use the Harvard here. So
It's APA.
APA. You just have to be a little bit careful that it's exactly the correct according to your handbook.
Can I ask you, Juliet? I remember when we had the talk in the summer, I'm sure there was a system called RefWorks.
Yes, there is. Did you want to?
Yeah,
it's still working,
that would be
absolutely.
brilliant,
So
yeah.
I was going to mention that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I can mention that as well. I'll just include it in a second. So yeah, you get also these descriptors here, and this can be a really useful source of additional keywords if you want to find more information. Has anyone got anything they'd like to ask about that? Really, really easy to use. Find you lots and lots of stuff. So Discovery is looking at lots and lots of sort of sub-databases. So you will get lots of things from different subject areas if you're looking there. So you might need to be very specific about the keywords that you use in order to make your search work correctly. Okay. So, is it alright if everybody just takes a few minutes to log on, find Discovery, and do a search? And then I shall come round and check that everybody can do that okay. And I shall talk about RefWorks afterwards.
When was this stack one?
It was
I
in
don't
the
know how to
summer.
do it.
Oh,
I didn't even know you could.
It was in the summer. It was in the summer. I can't remember who it was.
It must have been before us.
I think it was before you started
Right.
full time, and it was really useful for us as staff, and it wasn't just for the tutors. And I found it was really, RefWorks was just like, it just made my life so much easier when I was putting together bibliographies and that sort of thing. Really.
I was going to show you Linda.com as well.
Oh yeah, because they have access to that.
We do have access.
I never show the students because they don't really know to get to it myself, so I took the use.
Just cover that up.
Yeah, RefWorks was really good.
That's the auto ref, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got ones now which are amazing. You can get an app and you just hover over any
ISBN.
ISBN and it's there added to your library, wrapped up in all the different ways. Problem is that sometimes they're a bit off.
Well, even with RefWorks, I found that it does it all for you. You can stay in your APA, but I still have to once I export it as a Word document, I still have to go in and tweak it, so it's not perfect. But
Yeah.
but you know, it's done a lot of the hard work.
Oh yeah, I mean you've got all the info there. It's just put it in the right way.
Oh, you've got all the
Oh, right, Ferrari, there's no sign across this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good enough for you.
Yeah, it's
get through yet to the actual results. This is something like that. The logging in's really. You try to put in.
I got really obsessed with organising all my emails. So I had like emails for my business, emails for work, emails for uni, and I completely stopped doing that. During that time, it was when I sent me the email address. So.
I really love the way.
Are you okay here or am I talking? Is that okay? Alright, okay. So if you can't remember your password, you've forgotten your password link under that screen, so you might just want to click on that now. Get that sorted out.
Oh, right.
So you can have different ones for everything.
Yes, yeah, that's really it.
Everyone seems to be getting on to it. Some people, that's not the case.
But you do have to pay for the service.
It's worth knowing about that, especially if we get.
So we want to try and find discovery of how to get on.
Yeah, because I cycle like between 3 or 4 passwords. Password is here. But that's why whenever you see me trying to log on, it just goes. Not that one.
I don't know, is it 455 W0? At least Phil Liggins would be that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, Phil Liggins would be an exploration mark.
Password 01 and capital P.
I like it. One of my cousins, he showed me how to password. It's just phenomenal, my login. He said, I'll use this password.
I must just log in, try and log in, and
So it's something I considered 1920. I don't know what it was. Password or something. Yeah.
no other email addresses that we do.
So that's really good because you can
How are you doing? Has everyone managed to get on?
Or the people that haven't got on, do they know it's because they haven't
It's a
remembered
bit-
what the password is? I'm sure they can work it out.
Is it on chat?
It's got on that one.
It's got a special mind.
nuclear physics. And now he's a salesman.
Alright.
PhD.
Nuclear things?
Yeah. So what are you doing at the moment? You all got to investigate particular animators.
I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. Maybe.
This year we've just been analysing scenes on television.
Oh, right, okay. Particular films.
Yeah. Is it just done then? Is that? They won't have any on. Yeah. That'd be good. If we ever have someone over who's not from Britain, we should still get make contact. I guess this one. Friday, everyone.
That wasn't such a good plan after all. Okay, folks, so maybe that wasn't such a fantastic idea after all, because I can see quite a few of you are having trouble getting hold of your passwords or remembering them. So, well done to those of you that got through onto the university resources, and I'm sure that all of you can now find the web page. If you haven't managed to identify your password, if you try that reset, I've forgotten my password link that's on Blackboard. If you have any problems at all, do email me. Can I leave just my email with you? I'll leave my email with Ken, and I'll chase it up with our staff. We do have a really good helpline. The number of that is 01772 895355. I need a board to write it on, really.
Example.
Yeah.
It's not the end.
I'll write it on down there. And you can phone them up and they'll check all the processes have gone through correctly. They'll be able to find out that you've got all the correct emails and that you should have had a password to send out to them, to you. So I've been asked by Ken to show you something called RefWorks. So I'm going to talk about that very quickly. It's a way of organising and managing the data you find on our library catalogue or on Discovery or stuff that people give you or that you find outside into one location, and then when you've completed your research you can use it to create a bibliography for you as well. So it's a database, RefWorks. So if I just, we had a look at our ebooks because we're looking at eBree. So here's our e-databases A to Z list. Discovery doesn't appear in here, it just has that separate list at the bottom, at the top of the home page. But these are all the different databases that we get, some of which are searched by Discovery and some of which aren't. So if you're using Discovery and you're finding that you're getting too many results and you really don't like it, you might want to have a look at some of the smaller, more specific databases. So things like the Artist Information Company, actually the best ones are probably Art Bibliographies Modern and one called the Design Art Index, which is down at D. So these are all available for you. So if you want to look at the Daily Mail Historical Archive, you're very welcome to do so. There we are. Design and Applied Art Index is a useful one for your topic area as well. So Discovery might well pick up articles from those, but they might be hidden in many other articles from other things that aren't so relevant. So if I just scroll down here to R for RefWorks. If you like this, I'll give you a demonstration of it, and the first time you use it, if you like it, you need to set up an account on it. It's quite straightforward there. So it's off-campus access. And then you have to select your institution from the drop-down list and log in. Okay, so this is my RefWorks account. It's just finishing loading. And I've been using it for a little while, so I've got some things in here. I demonstrate it usually. So the way it works is when you're looking at resources in Discovery or the catalogue or wherever, you can import them directly into RefWorks. And I'll demo how to do that from something in Discovery. Once they're in this area, you can create folders, as many folders as you like. So your default will be that you'll have a not in folder and a last imported, but you just create new folders up here. So it's a really nice way, even if you don't use it for anything else, it's a really nice way of organising everything. You know, if you've got several assignments on the go at the same time and you're thinking, oh, I can't remember what book it was I read for this, but it was really useful. So you should just pop up this. I don't know why it's taking so long. So you can create different folders for different pieces of work or different chapters or different modules or different subject areas that you're interested in. I think it's still loading. So I'll show you how to import something. So if I go back to my result list in Discovery, if I like some of these academic journal articles, what I can do in Discovery is save them to my folder. So over here there's a blue folder icon, so I just click on the ones that I like. I'm going to save. I would just mention that if you find Discovery really useful and you like it and you're going to use it a lot, you might want to create an account to save your research on there. So you do that by signing in up here at the top. So it says here that you can sign in, but it isn't automatically created for you. You do need to fill in this create a new account field. It's really straightforward, except the bit that asks you to set your password. It will only accept a strong password. It's taken us a long time to work out exactly what a strong password is, and it just means one that's very long. It doesn't have to be complicated. Somebody used cheese and onion crisps as their password, and that worked absolutely fine. But other people have used short ones with like brackets and exclamation marks and all sorts, and it hasn't accepted them at all. So just be calm when you're setting up your password and don't be hassled by it. But once you've done that, you can save your searches. So up here I could save all the search I've done. So if you spent ages and ages constructing a search and thinking of all the different keywords you could use, and then you're thinking, I haven't got time to look at all the results now, I need to come back tomorrow and do a bit more analysis of it, you can just save your search if you're logged in, and then it will save up here in your folder. And you can also save any articles that you want up there as well. So I would recommend that you take the time out to set up an account Discovery if you think it's going to be a tool you use a lot. But if you want to use RefWorks, which will gather together all your references in one place but not save your search itself, you just save the things that you want into your folder, select them all, and then somewhere over this side you have an export option. Click on export and just save. So because I've already opened RefWorks, it's just going to pop up saying you have imported 3 references. So I can view my last imported reference folder, make sure that everything's come across accurately. You get an option here to edit any of the information in those references if you think it hasn't brought an author across properly or it hasn't brought all the information across. And then you can put it into one of your folders. I haven't finished loading before because here's the rest of my folders that I'd already created. So I want to put all the page of references that I've just imported. That's Internet Explorer doing that. Not letting me select, I expect. Okay, so I'll select my references and then I can hover over this selected box and drag them into the folder that I want them to be in. And then next time I import something, these will disappear out of my last imported folder and the next things will go in. So there's really good instructions on RefWorks in the help on exactly how you import from every different place you could possibly want to import information from. And so you can get everything into here. If you're given a handout of an article and you don't know where it's come from, you can create a new reference just by using the form for a new reference here. So if you can't import it from anywhere automatically, you can just change this to APA, change this to whatever it is you're looking at. So maybe you're looking at a web page, and it will give you the correct fields you need to fill in to create your reference. You just need to make sure you fill all those in. Once you've done all this, you might be thinking that's a lot of work. It's very useful for finding information, but the thing that it's most useful for is creating your bibliography at the end of your work. So down here, there's Create Bibliography. So you create bibliography from, it's just going to do those last imported folder, but I could have selected any of these, but I'll just do my test folder instead. If I open my test folder, more results. Create bibliography, so you choose the style, so you want APA 6. Do it in Word so that you can free text amend it if you need to, and then just create it. Sometimes you get a pop-up blocker, which you'll need to allow, and sometimes the pop-up blocker makes you do it again, but I think it's just going to work this time.
I've used this quite a lot and I found it's a massive benefit.
When you used it, did you use the citing tool in Word, or did you just do it like that?
It was mainly for bibliographies because I was doing lots of research, and it saved me a lot of time. It wasn't perfect because I still had to go into Word and kind of edit it, but it did the majority of the work, I'd say.
I don't know what this has done, it's just imported some more. I just try it again. Sorry about that, everyone. It's just importing some more references. Right. It's the pop-up blockers does sometimes make you do the thing again. Which I think is what happened that time. It gave me a pop-up blocker to do it again. So it gives you this, which is all your references. So as Ken was saying, you do need to double check that they've all come across properly, because sometimes they're not exactly right. But it gives you everything in alphabetical order with most of the information you need. It's a really good starting point.
You know, I can't imagine doing that manually.
No,
it would take hours.
It does. It did in the old days. So if you do think RefWorks will be useful, you just need to log on to the actual database and set up an account. It's got loads and loads of online help. When you first set up your account, it sends you through to like a help series of videos, and it also emails you out help videos as well. And then there's the help file here, launch help file. So in here, there's a really nice section on how to get references into your account. So all the different ways and places you could possibly look for information, getting references into your account, importing from online data vendors. So these are all the different places you might look. So if you use Google Scholar a lot, you can actually import from Google Scholar, and you just click on there and follow the instructions to work out how to get things in. How long would you say it took you to get used to it? Was it quite quick?
I'd say sort of just playing around with it. Once I'd got all the logins and everything set up,
Yeah.
about 10 or 15 minutes,
Yeah.
it was very, very quick.
So that might be something that you think's worth a look. One thing I quite like about it is when I was doing my dissertation, I was always doing that thing where I'd read a really good quote and think, oh, that's really useful for this, and then I forget where I found it. So I'd be like, I want to use that quote now. Which book was it in? And then I'd be hunting through everything. So one thing students that I've taught this to before quite like is in the edit on each of these references, you do get an option to add personal notes. So it's in the additional fields down here at the bottom. And then you get a personal note field. So you can actually like type in the quote that you're interested in, or any part of the quote, or the person who did the quote. And once you've added something to there, you can search for any of the things you've put in. So you could just search for like a part of that quote, and it would come up with the book that the quote was in, because you'd have linked it through. So that would have saved me a lot of time. Although I could have organised myself better, I suppose. Anyway, good. What time is it? Like, really, do you have lynda.com already here, Linda?
We do have it. I'm not sure how
You have
many
the
students use it.
Full, because we bought the full package, which is costs quite a lot of money. So I will just demo it to you very quickly, since I've got time. So this is something that's completely different to the academic resources that I've been showing you already. So we're looking at books and journal articles, and then how to organise your references. So it's on this database list again. And it's something called lynda.com. Let me just use this drop down. And it's American, and it's videos on how to do things. So it's like instructional videos, really. And it partly is instructional videos on software and things that you might be using already, and just need a refresher on how to do a particular thing. But it also has things like interviews with people working in the field and talking about how they've approached different projects and things too. It'd be quite worth a look. Has anyone used it at all? Because you've got it here. Yeah, a couple of people. Show you. So if you want to log on to the UCLAN version of it, just click on the login at the top. And then you need to choose organisational login, and then here you just need to put www.uclan.ac.uk. And it does actually tell you to do this on the database page when you click on the link saying off-campus access. It details exactly what you need to do to log in as well. And it should take you back through to the university login page. This is how you know you've done it right and you're logging on the right page, because you'll see this red screen. You log in with your username and password. So do you use it at all, this one? If I just show you the library. Yeah?
I was just going to say, I think it was mainly a push from our visual effects tutors who wanted to access this.
Yeah,
So if you could do a quick search for ZBrush.
yeah, sure. So you can see that there's all these different options here.
Yeah.
So was it on there?
Yeah, it's on there. It says ZBrush on the right.
I'm rubbish at this, so sneak down to it.
If you go to 3D plus animation and then the software.
Yeah, that's it, Tosh. So because we've done a search, it's telling you here the different courses that cover ZBrush, and it tells you how long the courses are. You can limit by skill level or particular subject area, or if you get a particular author that you like. So if you're interested in one of these, any particular one that appeals, central training maybe, you just click on the link and it'll open up with the video at the top, which you can watch. And then down here it's got all the different like mini sections. So you don't have to do the whole course, which is 2 hours 58 minutes. you could just have a look down and click on the bit that you're interested in finding out more about. Over here you've got the transcript, and if you click in the transcript it should jump to that part of the video, or if you scoot the video along it will reflect it in the transcript. And quite often you get exercise files, so you can download files to sort of work on at the same time to really get a handle on what they're showing you to do. You do also get, when you've completed a course, you can get a certificate. I don't know if that would be of any use to you when you go out into the world for employment, to have things in your
Is it possible to download the videos, or is it only streamed?
No, it's only streamed, yeah. Well, it does say view offline new there, though. Maybe I lie. I've never seen that before. So maybe, yeah, you can. You can, look at that. Download in your browser, view offline and cash. Because we're a premium member, so I think we bought the lot. It's got other useful things on here too, like it's got things on how to be more confident when giving presentations, and stuff about Excel and Word. And when I was looking up before for your course area, it's got things like people just talking about how they approached different situations, or how they sort of solved problems when they were working on projects as well. So it can be more than just instructional things, although that is primarily what it's set up for. So I really recommend you have a look at that and have a browse through it. So if you get stuck on something, this is the first place people are sort of going now, just to see if they can work it out quickly themselves. Have I got time to show you Bob? Bob's nothing to do with your course, really. It's like a giant iPlayer, but it never runs out. So I'll mention it really quickly because you might like it. It's called Box of Broadcasts, really, not Bob. And it's just all the Freeview channels, really, and you can request recordings, or you can view anything that other people have recorded previously. So if there has been anything on the television that's been useful, and you want to watch that, there's a really good history of animation program a while ago. You can use this to view it. You can create clips and put them on your blackboard to tutors now. It's just really, really nice. Again, you need to log in, and you need to select the university login. Be really quick, and I've run out of time really. So you can see the programme guide tells you all the programmes that you can see. So these are the channels, these are the times. Obviously this is today. Usually there's a calendar up here, it's probably still loading. This is today, so not much is already available, most of it's grey. So things that are green, you just click on them, and then down here at the bottom, you can't quite see it on the screen, but that's just me to set those. Yeah. I want to watch Embarrassing Bodies, you just view it here, and if it's something that's grey, you just click on it and then request it. But you can only request 5 programmes a day, but that's not any particular limit. And if you're looking for something particular, or if you want to find out if there's anything, is it called Animation Nation? I can't remember. You can just use the search, and then you could just watch the programmes. You do get the clips as well when you do that, but you can limit to full programmes anyway. So it might be useful academically, but it's a really nice resource anyway. Just show you that really quickly. And that's everything I need to do, except I will write on this board my email address and phone number of the helpline if you have any troubles getting in. So email me if you want a particular book, and I'll see if I can buy it for you electronically. And if you have any trouble getting onto the resources, or you've forgotten your password, or you're not sure what to do about that, then you can phone our customer support line or email them. It's this customer support. It's their email. It's at UCLAN again. Or it's 01700 895355. Okay. Has anyone got anything they'd like to ask before we finish up?
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you all.
Excellent.
Sorry the signing in bit didn't go according to plan, but I hope you all managed to access all our resources with no trouble at all.
That was really useful. Thank you.